So we'll kick this thing off and not take up too much of your guys' time.
Your exciting Friday night.
Everybody else that can't get on, it was like a trick. We tried to see who really wanted it. So Natalie put this together, and exactly what she was just saying is everybody is kind of in this point where we're basically 2 months in, and people's motivation is falling off, and that's pretty normal. Motivation is one of those things that works until it's gone, and if you don't have anything else to fall back on, there's nothing good that's going to come of it. So the whole idea of this is to give you guys a little boost of motivation, but also build some discipline and some new habits and routines, and starting with your nutrition, because that's where all of your health and fitness really start. So that's kind of the big piece there. And like everybody's been saying, we're in May. Nobody really knows when this is going to end. Nobody knows when we can open the gym. We'll keep politics out of it, but I'm sure everybody's equally frustrated for their own reasons. And as you guys are going through this rough time, the first thing that tends to go for people is what they're eating. You're spending more time at home. You're unmotivated, so instead of cooking, you're ordering out and picking up this and picking up that, and the treats start to come, and you start to bake things. And even though you're baking paleo treats, you're still baking paleo treats and then eating all of them because you're at home all day. So just a way to keep you guys back on track. And then as far as like the whole reset thing, Matt, why don't you kind of give everybody the reason that we do it the way that we are?
Okay, so yesterday I talked a little bit. I posted on Instagram talking about the all or nothing. And so if you are in the category where you can't do all or nothing, you don't want to give things up for 30 days. I completely understand. But it was probably about 12 years ago, I decided to do, it wasn't the whole 30, but it was essentially like the whole 30. I decided to see what would happen if I were to give up dairy, grains, sugar, alcohol. I didn't drink a lot, but like it was pretty much whole 30. And how I had it explained to me is that unless your body has a break from some of these things that could be an irritant, you'll never know if you do tolerate them. Because a lot of people say, oh, I tolerate dairy, fine. I tolerate grain, sugar, whatever, fine. Cool. But have you ever given it up for 30 days to see, and reintroduce it to see what's really happening there? And in my experience, I was blown away. About 2 weeks in, I was sleeping better. I had more energy. My mood was better. My skin was clearing up. Like people that I would see were commenting like, wow, you look great. And not because I had dropped a ton of weight, but I just looked healthy. I was glowing. My insides were happy. My brain was happy because, right, food affects your brain as well. And that really opened up my eyes to, what I needed in my diet and what I didn't need. I can handle dairy, okay? Casey cannot. So everyone's a little bit different. It's bio-individual, but I highly recommend, if you are capable of giving up foods, to give yourself a good reset, to stick to whole food ingredients. You can call it Whole 30, you can call it paleo, you can call it whatever you want, but the goal is to give your body a break from possible things that could be irritating your system. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the why behind a reset. Aside from where we're at in the quarantine, I felt like it was a really good time for everyone to get a new start and to get a little more motivation, because we went into this, fairly motivated. It was still unknown. People were still working out, but then like the food started, and it's really fun to cook and it's really fun to bake. But if you're sitting at home all day, like Casey said, with all of your food, then you tend to overdo it.
Yeah. So the next piece is like, so that's kind of our why. That's why we need to do this, why we want everybody to get involved and take the month of May to get on board and dial themselves in. But there's a couple different hows. And Natalie posted some stuff the last couple days, and the big one was the one that was basically like all in, doesn't always work for everybody. And there was some comments on there, like,
It was pretty split down the middle.
yeah, like balance doesn't work for me. Some people are like, that's the best way. So the two house. First off, we'll get you all the details on what we're going to be asking in a second, but some of them are just jump in, all in, 100%. That works for some people. If it's my personality, that's what I'm going to do. And then there's those other people where you try to have them do that, and you're setting them up to fail right off the bat. So you find this step-by-step approach. It's no different than our coaching process. First day that you ever walk into a CrossFit gym, we don't put a barbell on anybody's back and load it up. We give you a PVC pipe, we work the technique, we work the movements, and then we slowly, gradually build and build and build. So most of you on the call, most of the people that are going to be listening to this, you're not at that far end of the spectrum where you're eating fast food all day long, never eating any vegetables, drinking sodas. That's not most of you. But there still is probably some stuff going on in your nutrition and with your diet where you can start to clean things up. And if you try to clean all of them up at the same time, it might feel overwhelming. It might be too much for you at that point. So all you do is you just take one at a time. The first one, maybe I'm going to make sure that I eat a vegetable at every meal. Something that's a vegetable at every meal, and that's what you do for the first week. And then the next week, you start to think about your portions, or there's something that you know, maybe you eat fruit all day long and you need to start getting rid of that, or maybe you have too much almond butter or nut butter of some sort and you need to start backing that off. So you just baby step your way through it. And by the end of this, and we'll give you some more examples as we get into the details, but by the end of it, you will have built and found what works for you and what does not work for you.
Yeah, so I think the important thing to start with is to figure out what type you are. So if you can't do moderation, you're all in, you don't want temptation, awesome, I can help you with that. If you need baby steps, that is honestly how I would start most people, most clients I work with. I'm not going to just completely do an overhaul unless they say, I want to do this. I work on replacing things for more favorable options, removing maybe one thing a week, and start to build those better habits like Casey was talking. So begin to think about that. Like maybe you already know right now, but think about that. If you aren't sure something that you would like to change or remove, I would love to help you with that. That's one of the things I'm going to be offering to anyone who wants to participate throughout this month. To keep a food journal and screenshot it, send it to me because I can't meet you in person, and I can help you with some of that.
Yeah. So, and then the details, like what are we really doing? What does the nutrition reset actually look like? Well, we really loved the documentary Game Changers. So we'd like everybody to go on a plant-based diet.
No.
What do you guys think? No, I see a lot of that going on. So
you made your mom laugh pretty good.
We had to bring some sort of comedy to it. I needed to get a reaction.
Yeah.
So 30 days. So all great diets start on a Friday evening. So we're starting it on Friday. Most people would start on Monday, but if you really want it, you'll start on a Friday, and we're in the middle of a quarantine, so every day is the same anyway. So 30 days. Starts right now. If today you were off, start right now. If for whatever reason you don't start right now, 30 days will bring you through May 31st. If you started today or you start right now on the 31st of May, or sorry, the 30th of May at 7 p.m., then your challenge can be done. I highly encourage you to just take it through the 31st. So what we're really looking at is removing all known foods that cause some sort of irritant.
Inflammation.
Like Natalie just said, dairy, grains, alcohol, and sugar are the big ones. By removing those, you give your body an opportunity to eat real food sources to see if you have any intolerances to those foods. It takes roughly 21 to 30 days for your body to reset. And then after that, then you have an opportunity to start putting stuff in. As we go through this, we'll talk more about that, but we don't need to really get into that today because it's not what the reset is.
As the month goes on, we can talk about how to reintroduce foods. And if you're one of the people that needs to take something out 1 week at a time, just know that it will take a little bit longer than 30 days, or if you're cutting back to like one treat a day instead of multiple treats. I don't know where you're at in your food journey. Just know it'll take a little bit longer, but it might be more doable for you that way. So just, like I said, know where you're at and what you need to do.
So, and then kind of building on that. So if you are that person where you're like, if I try to do everything at once and I try to cut grains, rice, alcohol, sugar, all of it out right now, you're going to fail. That's cool. The first week, just pick one of them.
Yeah.
And then the second week, pick the other one, third week, and so on and so on, and that'll bring you through. And by the end of the 4 weeks, you've kind of been able to eliminate it, and then hopefully you can carry these habits and that new discipline through. So whether you're doing it all right now or you're doing it step by step, it really doesn't matter. It's about starting today. You have to start in order to go somewhere. You can sit here and go, oh, what about this and what about that? And I'm not ready and I need to prep this and I need to prep that. Like, that's just an excuse. So all you have to do is start. If you have no idea where to start, once we get done with this, send us a message and we will tell you exactly what you need to do right now to get yourself going if you can't figure it out. Anything else on that?
Nothing else on that.
Okay. So what is going to happen and what Natalie really is going to offer, not really so much me, I'll just kind of be in the background on this, but every week is going to have a focus. The focus is there to give you something to really dial into. That motivation that we talked about, it's a little added motivation each week to really kind of reset yourself and get yourself through. So the first week, the focus is going to be on digestion, and all of these will get put out on a blog post by Natalie, and it'll get linked in an email. I'll make sure that I put the correct link in there and not the wrong one. So that'll come out telling you exactly what to focus on, how to focus on it, probably a bunch of why in there as well. Digestion, the second week will be hydration. The third week will be on your portion control. And then the last week will be all about balance and balancing protein, carbs, and fat throughout. And she'll talk kind of all about that. Anything else on the focus stuff?
No, and that's the focus is really just like an addition to how you've already changed your diet. So it'll make more sense once I give you the digestion piece. But you guys are going to choose, if you remove everything or you remove one thing, you're going to choose what you're eating. And then the digestion stuff will be like an addition to how you go about eating and something to optimize your health, because I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and that's what we do. So
cool. And then the next piece that'll happen is basically every day there'll be some sort of content coming out, and we looked at human behavior to kind of organize how it's going to come out. So every Sunday you can expect that post from Natalie and the email like we've been sending out every week, and that's going to be all about the preparation for the week. Tips and tricks on what you need to do, any added information that you need to get you going and get you dialed in for the week, and that'll be on Sunday. On Monday, motivation. Some sort of a motivational post will come up, most likely on Natalie's social media stuff. So something to just get you fired up and excited about sticking with what you're doing. And if you were maybe having a tough weekend or you didn't get everything prepped, it'll give you that little added motivation to get yourself through. Tuesday makes sense. We're going to do a Tuesday tip. And that might come in a video form. It might come in something just written out. It'll be just something quick, something to.
It'll probably be a video.
Probably a video.
Yeah.
So something that you guys will be able to kind of look at and be like, oh, that's a great idea. So that'll be Tuesday. Wednesday, you'll want to tune in to Natalie's Instagram story. She's going to share everything that she eats throughout the day from the time that she wakes up to the time that she goes to sleep. So you guys will have a little insight into how a nutritional therapy practitioner eats.
Try not to let you down.
Don't mess it up. Best advice ever.
Well, okay, I'm also a mom, so some days it's not pretty. I mean, it's healthy, but it's not pretty. Sometimes it's just quick, and I get it in. But it's quarantine, so I'll try to make it
We'll
pretty.
have Aaron send you pictures so you can pretend like it's plated nicely.
Right, I'll try to plate it better.
So that's Wednesday. That's kind of the middle of the week, so you guys will kind of get yourself going there. And then on Thursday, when nobody wants to do anything, a new recipe will come out. It might be something fun. It might just be something new and different for you to try. So that will be the Thursday post. On Friday, right now, discipline. Right?
Why discipline?
Why discipline? Well, because what happens on Friday? Even during the quarantine, everybody lets the wheels fall off. So we need to be disciplined to get ourselves through the weekend. The motivation's gone at that point. Like there's no more motivation. So if we have no motivation, we have to fall back on our discipline. So that's going to be a big one, and that will probably come out in something written. You never know what's going to come out there, but it'll be there. And then on Saturday will be something that we share from you guys, something from the community. So as you guys are dialing yourselves in and kind of going through your process on this, post stuff. Tag us, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram.
And you don't have to post stuff if you don't want. Like, if you're not the type that's like wanting to post things on social media, I totally get it. But if you're okay with something of yours being shared, send it to us. That works as well, so that we can share it. And I'm just thinking things like a new recipe you're trying, or maybe what your experience has been with the reset, how you're feeling, what's motivating you. It can be, any one of those things.
Yeah, just have fun with it. I mean, people will always put whatever works for them up. And like Natalie said, if you don't want to post stuff, just text it to us. We want to see that everybody's following along. Text it to us, send it to us in an email, private message us through social media, whatever. And as we see cool stuff that we feel is going to motivate others, that's the stuff that we want to share. The stuff that's like, oh, that's really cool. Like, I can't believe they figured this little trick out. Let's share that with everybody. So that'll be Saturday's post. And then the last thing, and I almost want to tell you that this is a mandatory part, but it's not mandatory. But take a picture. Go stand in the mirror, take your clothes off, take a picture.
You don't have to send it to us.
I don't want to see the picture. This is for you. Right? This is for you.
Look at Markella's face. Okay, he said it's not mandatory, but I'm going to say it almost is mandatory. Like, you owe it to yourself to see your progress, because it's sometimes really hard to see your progress yourself, and especially since we're in quarantine, you're maybe not seeing people for a while, or some of you are seeing people, depends where you're at. But it's really important that you do that, so that at the end of the month, if you haven't seen a soul, you can look at the picture and then take a new picture and be like, hey, I've made some changes. And again, it's not all about how you look, but a part of it is, right? You look better, you feel better, you feel better, you look better. It goes back and forth that way.
Yes. So go take your picture.
Take your picture.
Ideally,
you owe it to yourself.
Ideally, especially if you have somebody else, one from the front, arms out, one from the side, one from the back with the arms out is going to be how you see it the best. The more clothes you have on, the less you will see. That's why I said to take your clothes off. Again, I don't want your pictures.
You don't want to be naked, so you have naked photos of yourself in your phone. That would be weird. But like girls, the sports bra, guys, take your shirt off. Like take your clothes off sounds so
Justin,
terrible.
you need to do it in your tanning shorts.
Oh,
And then the last thing, and this is the hardest one for everybody, and pretty much anybody that has ever asked me for help with their nutrition, the first thing that I ask of them is bring me a food log. And most people never get past that step because it's really uncomfortable to write things down that you know are things you shouldn't be eating and things that you shouldn't be doing. But I would highly encourage you to not just log your food, but to keep some sort of a journal of the experience. And you may do it publicly on social media. You may like put a post out every day on how you're feeling, what you're doing, and that might be a good enough way for you to stay on it. Or just get a notebook on your computer, notes in your phone, however you want to do it, and just write how you feeling, what are you excited about, what aren't you excited about, what are you having a hard time with. And as you start to go through, that becomes your notes to improve upon. Last week I did this and I had a hard time. This week I had a breakthrough. Now you have something to celebrate. You actually have it written down where it was like, yesterday was hard. 3 days later, oh, this was way better. Now you can celebrate. So along the 30 days, celebrate every little thing that you can. And that celebration is what's going to carry you through when the motivation and the discipline really start to waver. Those little moments where you actually say, I'm so proud of myself, or you give yourself a balloon, or you write yourself a note, like anything to get those hormones going so your brain has that trigger of when I do this, I get rewarded.
You get a gold star.
Gold star, whatever you want. I don't care. Baby Nick might send you balloons on your phone, like whatever you guys want to set up. It doesn't matter, but find something that gives you that feeling of I'm proud of myself. I did well here.
On the notebook piece, so writing down what you eat, it's not just writing down what you eat. So if I'm going to work with someone, prerequisite is that they write down 3 days of what we call a food and mood journal. And you're writing down what you eat, how you feel, so what your mood is, what your energy is, any gastrointestinal symptoms, if you feel extra full after something, if you feel bloated, if you have stomach pain, if you have gas, whatever. That tells me so much about what you're eating and how I can help you. I'm able to connect the dots and say, oh, you were really tired this day. Let's go back to what you were eating. Let's change this around a little bit. So you might also have some aha moments as you look at your food journal. So it's an incredibly important piece for me and for you. But if you guys want my help, which I would love to help you throughout this, keep that journal. It's really important. If you're not sure like what exactly to write down, I can give you an example. And then after you have a few days, if you want to send it to me, I can help you out. So super important. Please do it. You don't have to go get a new notebook, but if you're a girl and you love notebooks, you can get a new notebook because it's fun. You can grab an old notebook, you can do it on your computer, like however you want to do it. I can't emphasize how vital the food and mood journal is. So it's what you eat, how you feel, any stomach, gastrointestinal stuff, your energy, mood, all of that.
All right. I think we hit everything. So 30 days starts now. Any questions from you guys about anything, whether it's specific to the challenge or just anything that we have going on? Any questions about what to do with
about
this?
Life.
Yeah, nutrition, life, quarantine, not politics. That's the only thing we're not allowed to talk about on here.
You want to switch quarantine families at this point? I mean, come on.
So I'm really patient. Natalie, not
Caitlin
so
just
much.
Looked at Joe like she wants to switch quarantine.
So I'll sit on here until we get like at least 5 questions.
Comments, concerns.
Unmute yourself and ask a question.
Yeah, you're all muted, so make sure you unmute.
Don't be shy.
Okay, Casey, I've got one for you.
Yeah.
Actually, it's much more directed at Natalie. No offense. I have not talked to her before now, and she's actually easier to listen to. I couldn't resist taking a shot. I've been working with him entirely too closely, and he already knows that I like him, so I figured I had to take one shot. You said stepping it up one stage at a time over a period. Is there a direct recommendation in the order you would go specifically, or does it really matter what you do 1 week at a time?
It's going to be dependent on the person and what their diet currently looks like. So if you, I'm going to say, eat bread with every meal, I'm going to maybe remove bread from lunch, or, I'm going to do like one meal at a time. It depends on that person's diet. Like I can look at a journal and be like, oh, I'm going to have you swap out this, but without knowing what you eat, that's hard.
So if you're willing, I'll send you a journal, but you have to promise not to jump out a window and set it on fire the second you read it.
I won't, and I won't even show Casey, so you don't have to hear about it from him.
Oh, I don't care about his opinion. I'll send it.
I like you.
I told you needed to meet Chief.
I sent it to you, but that really was my question. I was wondering if there was an order that was better overall, or if it's more individual.
It's very individual, but I would love to help you with that. So send me what you eat, and I can work with you from there.
And just on that, for everybody's knowledge, it's especially the first week, do the one that you can stick to.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the 4 main ones and you're like, oh, I don't eat a ton of dairy, but I eat enough of it, like start with that one.
Yeah.
Because you can stick to it. And like the one that like is probably the bigger part of your diet, like Natalie said, like she's only going to remove bread from 1 meal a day rather than 3. So just kind of finding that happy medium in there.
Baby steps.
Thanks, Chief. What else, guys?
Mariela's making something for us. I don't know what it is.
Jamie, you're new all the way from New York, so you have to ask a question.
No, don't make her.
I'm just kidding.
You can't ask a question.
I'm just happy to see other people. I'm jealous of
right?
the daytime, and it's been crappy here, so it's
Oh,
cool to see your sunlight out there.
well, you're always welcome to join any of our Zoom workouts.
Well, thanks.
What else, guys? Nothing? Everybody knows what to do? I expect big things from this group then.
Joe looks like he has a question. He's like scratching his chin.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did this with you back in 2015, Casey, and we did keep a food log, but I like the aspect of the mood log.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to choose like something else aside from like the food that I'm eating, how I'm feeling, and then like maybe something that like my GI stuff is a big issue for me.
Oh, great. Then that would be really helpful.
Okay, so that would be like the third part of my journal, I guess.
Yeah, so you can just like break it up into spots and write what you ate. It's good, like water intake is nice too, but it's not as important as your mood and your GI stuff. And sleep's a good one. So just break it up into like sections or however it makes sense in your brain to write it.
Yeah.
And then you might be able to look at it and say, oh, wow, I see this correlation. But if you're still not sure, send it to me and I would love to look at it. I love food and mood journals.
Okay. Awesome.
Mariela, what are you making?
And can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, it's called matambre alla pizza. Sorry, my family likes it. It's just pretty much meat and you grill it with tomato sauce and cheese on top. Yeah. So cheese is not going to be there today. No, I have to eat with cheese.
What else, guys? Anybody else have any questions? Does anybody just want to like share how much they love the quarantine? No?
Crickets.
No.
I have a
Crickets.
question for Ricky. Ricky, are you? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you've done resets, challenges, whatever you want to call it, a million times.
Yeah. Yes.
Are you going for the all in approach?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All in.
I'm just curious.
Otherwise, yeah, no, that doesn't work.
Do you guys have any advice for anyone else, or do you have any advice for anyone else who's like, okay, I'm all in, like, because you've done this before?
I mean, I'm so compulsive that if I know I have, like, I'm going to do it, then I love it. And I love the group dynamic and just like the accountability with that. So I think the food journal for sure helps in the beginning, just because like I've noticed a lot now, because we're always home. Like I'll just like cruise by the pantry and like a handful of macadamia nuts, which like are fine, but times 10, not so fine. And then like there's these bag of like dark chocolate chips in the pantry, and instead of having like 4 in something, I'm having 40 during the day. So that's why I have to do the all or nothing, because I can't.
And some people thrive with that. I thrive with it. Like I know that you do. But plenty of people don't. So that's okay.
So Rick, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit since so for those of you that don't know, Ricky's won pretty much every nutrition challenge we've ever done at the gym.
She's a champ.
She's really good at competing. But with that, what are some of the mistakes that you've made once the challenge is actually over that have kind of thrown you back off? So that way,
I don't know. I mean, that's like the $1 million question for me that I wish I could figure out. Like I do really well with the challenge. I like to win, and I love the like changes that I see. And then like I'll stick with it for like a month or 2 or 3 months after the challenge is over, and then like slowly I have this like thing in my head, like, well, you shouldn't have to live like this all the time. Like there has to be moderation, which in theory is great. There should be moderation, but like then I'm like Anoop and I will be like, okay, well Fridays we'll eat what like whatever after the kids go to bed. And then it's like, well, Saturday night, and then Sunday, then that sweet thing starts, and then it's just like a train wreck. So I don't know. I would love to figure that out, because I do want to find a place where I can like exist with some moderation. I don't think it's healthy for the kids to see me like never eating whatever, like I want them to be able to have moderation in their lives. I just can't figure it out for myself.
So, and that's a good point. So one of the things I love about taking 30 days to remove something and then understanding what it feels like when you put it back in your body is because then after at that point, you can make a decision with a clear head knowing I'm going to eat this and I'm probably not going to feel good later. And maybe you can have sugar and it might give you a headache, or you might have like a crash the next day. And that's the decision that you're going to make, and you're going to go into it knowing that, and it's going to be easier to bounce back. Whereas you might eat dairy and get horrible diarrhea and decide that that's something that you want to remove forever. So that's the one thing I really, really do like about the 30 days. And when someone completely removes something, they can make that decision knowing exactly the implications it's going to have on their body.
Right.
So you can make that choice to have moderation if it's not going to make you sick,
Right.
Or what's going to make you crave even more. Like there's certain things
that's the problem.
Yeah. Like cookies. Oh, it's over. Like I can't, there's no moderation with me and cookies.
So and with that, why we're on this conversation, because I think it's really important. The whole idea of balance and moderation, like while it seems like a great idea, it doesn't work for most people. And like you said, like you do great when you are all in, but as soon as you try to go the other way, like that's that addictive personality. And I would say the majority of people that do CrossFit and have been doing it for a long period of time have that mindset and that addictive trait in them. So the same way that an alcoholic shouldn't just have some alcohol in moderation, like if you know that that's you, like you have to kind of make that decision on this really doesn't work for me, so I need to stay away from it altogether. And I think
sugar is the biggest
like Natalie said, like finding those things where it's like if I have this, it snowballs. But like for me, I can go eat a burrito once a week and be fine. But like if I have sugar, like it's it's the same thing. It's like, oh, I ate sugar today, I'll eat it tomorrow and the next day and the next day, and then I'll just work out twice as hard and I'll be fine. So for me, like, it just can't be a part of my life, like, period.
Yeah, the sugar is so scary. It really is.
All right, we'll take you off the spot, Rick. Thanks for letting us pick on you.
All right, Deirdre asked, sourdough bread is a grain, yes or no? It is a grain. So we can, outside of the 30 days, some people tolerate sourdough very well. But again, you aren't going to know how well until you cut it out for 30 days, cut all grains out, and then try it after 30 days. So I would say I love sourdough bread. I bake sourdough bread. It's hard not to eat it when I bake it because it's delicious. But for the sake of giving your body an actual reset, and your GI a reset, honestly, I would not have it for 30 days. And I mean, if you're trying to lose weight, that's another thing where it's like rice. Rice isn't the worst thing ever. If you're trying to lose weight, I don't recommend eating it. So that kind of falls into that category.
Any other questions, guys? I think we made it to 5 somehow.
Did we? Psychological part is huge. Yeah, I agree, Jamie.
And I just realized this is Mike W., not Michael Pan.
Mike W., gosh, we want to see your face. It's been so long.
And just so everybody knows, Mike's been hard at work at the gym, cleaning barbells and doing all sorts of stuff. So, Mike, thank you for that.
He doesn't.
There he is.
Hey, Mike. We're gonna unmute you. How are you? Did he just mute himself again?
How are you?
We're as good as we can be. He disappeared again. Wow, he's like a ghost. All right. Mike, do you have any questions? Oh, you got the dog with you.
Yeah, we're at the park.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Everybody's ready for 30 days. Everybody on your end? Justin?
I have a question.
Justin disappeared on us.
Okay, so we kind of went back and forth on, I asked because Ricky brought up the accountability and the community part, and, you know, without being in the gym every day and talking about the nutrition, we were wondering, is there a better way we can support you with the community part, as far as, do you guys want a Facebook group? Do you, like, I don't think people want to have frequent Zoom sessions because you're already on Zoom all the time. But I mean, if you did, we would do that. I'm just trying to give you guys what would be helpful for you and what you want.
Yeah, like basically, like we can get, most of you are in the Facebook group for CrossFit anyway, and we can just add anybody that's not in there. Or we can do a weekly Zoom call, or we can do one in like 2 weeks. You guys could just keep each other accountable.
Yeah, so how could we best support the community aspect and accountability? Ricky, do you have an idea? Back on the spot.
I don't know. I mean, I like that sort of like, when I know I have other, like when I had the neighbors doing it with us, you know, at the gym, like we could kind of check in, and like with Josh and Steve, like I like that kind of like,
yeah, what are
you eating, you know, like that kind of stuff. But I don't know.
You have all of us. For people. You can
right.
text me what you're eating.
We'll keep everybody up to date, and we'll figure that out.
Yeah, if you guys want some sort of like real-time support, then we'll figure out.
And you can always email us, text us, message us through social media, pick up the phone and call.
And we can talk about it too. We can do a check-in on the workouts.
Yeah, I'll be all the workout stuff. But yeah, that's it. I think that's all I have.
That's all he's got. He's tired.
We're 50 minutes in. It's Friday. It's been a long week. been really busy on Zoom.
Hey, but we got no cars stolen this week. No cars were wrecked this week. So that's
we got some good waves.
Better than the week before. We surfed again legally.
There was a shark attack the other day. hard to really call it a shark attack. It was like somebody got a little nibble on their ankle by a baby.
It was nothing.
Not happy.
Yeah. But red tide's happening.
The
I
shark
blame
wasn't
red tide.
happy either, obviously.
Yeah.
Baby Nick, you got a message for anybody? He's too shy. We put him on the spot.
There, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
No message. Don't do drugs.
Basically, crime is bad in Arizona.
Yeah, it's real bad right now. So, stay off the meth. But other than that, no.
Awesome, guys. Well, we'll wrap this thing up. Thank you.
I'd be so skinny though.
What?
I'd be so skinny though.
You'd be very skinny on drugs. Very skinny.
Anoop would really like your teeth.
Something to think about.
Tiger King probably inspired a lot of people to.
Right?
I had to write that down because it wasn't on your original list, so I came back and added.
That's not until week 5, Chief.
Meth.
Week 5, we introduce the next step.
Not a problem.
Powers. Add meth.
Lose your teeth.
If you lose your teeth, you'll lose some weight.
Also
It is true.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. If you guys talk to anybody that was like, I couldn't get on, tell them that we'll post this so they can get all the details.
Yeah, it's recorded, so we can send it to anyone. I can't wait to see what you guys
Bye,
are
everybody.
eating and your food journals and your recipes, and hang in there.
Yeah, if you guys need anything, let us know. Thank you guys so much. It was good to see everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
kids.